Listen guys, I know that you probably read the title of this video and you feel very confused, a little bit like, what does she mean by that? I get it, but please bear with me, I'm going to explain everything. When you go on YouTube, when you go online, you can find thousands of articles or videos about how to motivate yourself to get out of bed, how to motivate yourself to study, how to motivate yourself to when you're feeling lazy, all of these different things. And I'm here to tell you that even though I've watched a couple of these videos, motivation is not what will get you out of bed. Motivation is not what will help you do things when you're feeling lazy. Discipline is. And the whole purpose of this video is highlighting the difference between motivation and discipline, and why, if I had to choose, I don't want to be motivated. I want to be disciplined. If you think that this is probably a topic that interests you, please stick around. This video is going to be structured in 3 different parts. There's timestamps down below, so you can jump around as you please. But the first part will be the actual definition of motivation versus discipline. Then I'm going to be talking about why, in my opinion, discipline is more important than motivation. And then the third thing will be about how to actually use both motivation and discipline hand in hand to achieve your goals. Because at the end of the day, both are important, but there's an interesting way to look at it that allows you to use both of them to your advantage. And we're going to start now with part 1. Part 1, motivation versus discipline. We're going to be defining these terms here, and all the definitions that I found, all the resources that I used to structure this video will be linked down below. So what is motivation? I think the best way to define motivation is by using a layered approach. I think the first layer of motivation is that it's an internal process. It's something that happens within you. It's a state of being of oneself. You know, you're either motivated within yourself or you're not. Then I think another layer to add to it is that it's this feeling of a desire, an urge, a need to change something, either within yourself or within your environment. Another layer that you can add on to it is that this feeling, this urge, this desire to change something has this connotation of urgency. It's something that you want to immediately change now. The moment you feel motivated, you take action. So it's a state of being that once you feel it, you start moving, you start taking action immediately. So for example, if you're in bed, you're not motivated, immediately for whatever reason you feel motivated, you're out of bed, you're doing the thing, you're in front of the computer. So in that case, what is discipline? I think discipline at its essence is an attribute. It's a skill. It's not a state of being. It's not an internal process. It's something that you learn. And the actual meaning of it is the ability to use energy to work towards a goal in a consistent and repetitive basis. And the keywords here are consistent and repetitive. It's something that allows you to do things day in and day out. But it's not a state of being. It's not something that suddenly you're disciplined. You're in bed and like, oh my god, I'm disciplined, let's get out. It's an attribute, it's a skill. And I think that's where the core difference between motivation and discipline lies. So how would you differentiate discipline versus motivation? I think discipline is more of a daily practice that's reliable. It's a skill. Whereas motivation is more of a driven energy that pushes you to action, but that you happen to feel only sometimes. You can't control when you're going to feel motivated. So in simple terms, I would say that motivation is unreliable, discipline is reliable. Motivation is a feeling that you can't control, whereas discipline is more of a skill. So hopefully by now you understand the differences between these two words and grasp some of the nuances that are attached to these words, and all of the different colors of them. And with that, I think we can move on to part 2. Why is discipline more important? I think the reason why discipline is more important than motivation, it's because discipline at its core is a skill. And because it's a skill, it means that it's something that anyone can do, and anyone can work on, practice, and become better at. And the actual tangible effect of becoming better at discipline is becoming more consistent with the things you're doing in life to achieve your goals. And so therefore, since you can practice the skill that is discipline, it means that you can actually control it. And it's because of this ability that you can control this skill that it's something that's reliable. And it's that reliability, again, that will help you achieve your goals. It's the feeling of every single day knowing I'm going to wake up tomorrow at 7 a.m. I'm going to get all of these tasks done in a timely fashion, and then repeat it the next day, and the next day, and the next day, day in, day out, to actually get the thing done and achieve that goal. It's the discipline that will get you there. It's the practice of that skill. It's not the motivation that you happen to feel on a random Tuesday morning. It's the ability of, even when you feel like the last thing you want to do is wake up and get the things done, you still wake up and you still get those things done. And also, if you become a more disciplined person, you're going to spend most of your life being disciplined rather than being motivated. And so by this idea that you're spending more time being disciplined than motivated, then surely discipline should be more important. There should be a higher, more important weight on how do I become disciplined rather than how do I feel motivated? Because you can't control a feeling, but you can control a skill. You can work at it. So after talking about how important discipline is, I now need to tell you that we can't live a fulfilling life without one or the other. We need motivation to achieve our goals and be fulfilled. We need discipline to achieve our goals and feel fulfilled as well. And I think that nicely brings us to part 3, using discipline and motivation hand in hand. And I think the best way to start this part is illustrating what a life without one or the other would look like. So let's take a life without any discipline whatsoever. What you're left with is a collection of sporadic moments of working towards a goal, but without any clear pattern or consistency. So if you take a graph with x-axis you have time, y-axis you have motivation, and then you have a red dot, which is the goal. That's the reason why you're motivated and taking action. You want to reach that red dot. If you only have motivation, your graph will look like a series of varying intensities of peaks. So you have a peak, and then you go back down. Another peak a few days later, go back down. A peak maybe a bit higher, but then go back down. Because you have the motivation to do something, but then once that motivation leaves, you stop working on it. So you only work at the thing to achieve the goal sporadically and to varying intensities, because motivation comes with varying intensities as well. One day you're super, super motivated and you're working and you're getting super close to the red dot, but then you go back down because you have no discipline. And then the next day you're a bit motivated, but you go back down again. So it's this collection of sporadic moments of varying motivation intensities. And with that, you can't achieve the red dot. You just can't. You can't get there. Let's take a life without motivation. With discipline, you're able to work towards any goal, really. So you can work day in, day out and achieve the goal. But where do you actually want to go? Where do you actually want to go? So if you take a graph, again, X, you have the time, Y, you have discipline, but this time you have 3 dots, a red dot, a blue dot, and a green dot. All of these are different goals. Discipline will allow you to go to any of those. You can have a nice little curve. Every day you're getting a little bit better at it, and then you reach the goal. Every day you're getting a little bit better at it, and then you reach the goal. Every day you're getting better at it, you reach the goal. But which goal did you actually want to reach? Where are you going? What goal will allow you to feel happier, feel fulfilled? Discipline will not tell you that. Discipline is a skill. You just do it. You get to the place, but you don't really know where you're going if you don't have motivation. Whereas when you have both motivation and discipline, you allow to both have the inner desire of changing something, you can remember the definition, within the self or the environment, with the consistency and the skill that will allow you to get there. So if you take a graph, again, time on the X, but this time you have motivation and discipline working hand in hand on the Y, you're going to have a nice curve that's going to allow you to get to the X. You know that you want to get to the red dot because you're motivated to go there. You know that that's what you want. And at the same time, you have discipline that's working with motivation. So you have this curve with little peaks here and there. And instead of having peaks that go up then back down, have a peak that goes up, slightly goes back down, but then discipline picks up a little bit higher. Because, you felt motivated? Okay, let's continue working from this level of motivation. So then you reach that goal quicker, but also you're able to reach that goal and you know where you're going. To put it simply, motivation allows you to start something. It allows you to take action. It allows you to identify where you want to go. What are you motivated to do? But discipline, the role of discipline, is to allow you to continue working towards that goal and to achieve that goal. And so this is the key message of this video. Both are crucial to achieve the goal. You need the motivation to know where you're going, to know why you're taking action, but you need the discipline to actually achieve it, to actually do the thing. Both are important. And if you look at people nowadays, a lot of people start things. A lot of people are motivated to do things. If you type online how to be motivated, you have so many videos about how to be motivated. But I think the real question should be, how do I become disciplined? Because we can all be motivated. It's an internal process. It's a state of being. It's a feeling. We are all able to feel motivated to do certain things. It's something that we all have the ability to do. But we can't control when you're going to feel it. Whereas you can have control about the discipline and how to get to those goals and working at those skills. And so I think the real question should be, how do I become more disciplined? And so the whole purpose of this video is to show that motivation, yes, is important, but discipline is what we should be working on. Discipline is what we should be doing day in, day out to achieve our goals. And yeah, and it's that careful balance of working these two things together to allow us to achieve our goals. And with that, I hope this video was useful. I hope I was able to help a few of you with this video. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it to other people, comment if you have any thoughts that come to mind after watching this. And yeah, and without further ado, I'm going to wish you guys a great week. And I'm going to go.